영상의 구성은 다음과 같습니다. 그럼 한번 시작해 볼까요?
There's a level of, I guess you could say, maybe a little bit of performance or decorum, or at least something different than if you were chilling at your house with friends. There's a level of, I guess you could say, maybe a little bit of performance or decorum, or at least something different than if you were chilling at your house with friends. There's a level of, I guess you could say, maybe a little bit of performance or decorum, or at least something different than if you were chilling at your house with friends. There's a level of, I guess you could say, maybe a little bit of performance or decorum, or at least something different than if you were chilling at your house with friends. Another word that we heard in this video is the word decorum. So before I even read the sentence, you want to try pronouncing that for me? Decorum.
Decorum.
That was good because it's a really unusually pronounced word and you don't hear it used commonly. So you won't have the pronunciation always down if you don't hear a word used frequently.
Gotcha.
So the whole sentence that this came from in the video, there is a level of, I guess you could say, maybe a little bit of performance or decorum, or at least something different than if you were chilling at your house with friends. So that was the whole sentence, but maybe for the purpose of the word decorum, we're just going to focus on that first half. So John, would you read the part I have on the slide there?
Okay. There is a level of, I guess you could say, maybe a little bit of performance or decorum.
Decorum. That was really good. Okay.
Thank you.
It was really easy to understand what you said. You pronounced the word really well. The meaning of decorum, I don't know if it's a word you have heard before or not. Like I said, it's kind of an uncommonly used word, but it means appropriate and proper behavior. So do you think, is it a word you've heard before?
I never heard of it.
Never heard of it. Okay, so you're learning something new then.
I am.
If you use this word, you are going to impress your friends. They're going to be like, oh, wow, good vocabulary.
What if they think, who is this guy using this, like, snobby word? I don't know. It's like a snobby or privileged word.
No, I don't think, I guess it just depends on how you use it, right?
Gotcha.
Because knowing that it means proper behavior, there are times and places where you have to have the right behavior. And that would be decorum. And it's just a fancier way, I guess, to say, I hope you have the proper behavior. You can say, your decorum better be exactly what it needs to be.
Wow.
And then people are like, woo-hoo-hoo, look at me.
Brush up the dust, yes.
Yes. So, okay. And here's a sentence with, or actually you already pronounced it for me. I was going to do this sentence next. So you want to try pronouncing decorum? There's the exact pronunciation.
Okay. Decorum.
Yeah. And if you kind of go syllable by syllable, so
Da.
Cor.
Rum.
Decorum.
Decorum.
Yeah, that was good. Okay. And then here really is the sentence that I had for you. We trust he will show the proper decorum. So if you're going to maybe some fancy get together and you're taking someone, you're not sure how they're going to behave, then that's a sentence you could realistically say is, we hope he's going to have the proper decorum and behave appropriately.
Gotcha.
Yeah. You want to read that sentence for me?
Sure. We trust he will show the proper decorum.
Yeah, good job. Okay. And here are some synonyms for the word decorum. Maybe you would have kind of guessed this already from our conversation. Is what's the correctness, the politeness? I guess you could say properness too. So I'm going to ask you if you have a sentence using this word, but before that, can you think of any situations where this word might apply? For example, what's a situation where you think somebody maybe needs to have the proper behavior?
Probably in school or in a class or in a movie theater or the environment that you are supposed to be really quiet or I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, that's a great example. In fact, we went to the movies yesterday,
Mhm.
and you do hope that all the other people in the theater have the proper decorum, turning off your cell phones, not talking loudly to your neighbor, and those kinds of things. So those are some really good examples. Think you're ready to try giving it a sentence? Do you have any other questions about the word?
I don't think I do have a question, but I think I will try to come up with a sentence using the word
Okay,
decorum.
so yeah, think of any of those situations you just described to me, and then use decorum in a sentence about that situation.
Gotcha. For example, what about this? Giving standing ovation, the end of a theater is not always a good, proper decorum. Does it make sense? I don't know.
It does make sense, except for that if you're at the theater, if it's a live performance, maybe differently. I would say it is good behavior or
is
good
good.
decorum.
Okay.
So, I mean, you wouldn't necessarily do that if you're at the movie theater. Very few people stand up and applaud. But if you've just seen a really good live play or musical,
Then it could be.
that could be the right time for the standing ovation.
Right.